Colleen Barnett with Keeping the Peace Defensive Handgun Training for Women, and we're going to be talking about something serious today. I want to try to get people to think about what the aftermath of a self-defense shooting could be. The first battle you fight is the battle for your own life or for the life of your loved one. But after that takes place and you're still alive, there's still a huge battle to fight. So today I'm going to be interviewing a friend named Sam, and he's going to tell you his story of the aftermath of a self-defense shooting that happened over 2 years ago. He's still in a court battle. It's still going on, and it's still changing his life. So I hope that you are benefited by what you see today and by the fact that he has been willing to open up his life and share his story so that someone else could prepare. Because there's really no way you know what's coming, but if you can learn from other people's experiences, you can possibly be more prepared than you are today. So I hope that you'll glean something from what you see today that will help you be better prepared. Would you just give the viewers a brief description of the events that led up to that terrible day a couple of years ago?
Well, actually, it's my daughter's ex-boyfriend. But the events that led up to all this was him trying to control her and not allow her to go on with her life. It was one of those situations like, if I can't have you, nobody will. It was one of those kind of things. She had discovered some pictures that she knew nothing about that he had taken of her, and you can tell in the pictures that she's unconscious. So I can't prove this, but I think he probably drugged her. I took the hard drive out of the computer because now we had something.
Okay.
So we were going to take it to the county attorney. And so we called the county, but guess what? The county attorney's off on vacation or whatever. Well, can't we talk to anybody else? No, you got to talk to him. When's he going to be back? Next week, first of next week. So we've got these days until we can show them what we have. But it angered her so much that she confronted him with what she knew. So this in turn angered him.
Okay.
He was bound and determined to retrieve that evidence.
The computer is what he
The
wanted.
computer.
Okay.
But I had it.
Okay.
And I think about it today, and then I thought I was doing the right thing, but I realize now that I put her in a lot of danger by doing it.
Things were escalating so much and the police were not offering help.
Right.
Their hands were
Right.
tied.
Right.
And you were trying to gather evidence that would get them to do something for you.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
So did I answer that question?
I think so. I think so. On the day that it happened, you don't have to tell them all the details, I don't guess, but he basically broke into the house, right? He came
Yes.
uninvited into the house that
Yes.
you were staying in. And he was assaulting her.
Correct.
And you had just been through surgery,
Correct.
a knee surgery, hip surgery,
Total hip replacement.
replacement.
Right.
Okay, so you weren't in good physical condition.
Right.
But for a long time you had been carrying a concealed weapon, right?
Oh, for years.
Just for general personal protection, not because of this man, just in general.
Ever since it was legal in Kentucky, they passed it. It might have been 6 months, but it wasn't very long after that that I got my concealed carry.
Okay.
I'm a retired firefighter ambulance guy.
Okay.
I've seen all the things that people will do to each other. I've seen that they will have no sympathy for you. I have seen that you best take care of yourself,
Right.
because ain't nobody gonna do it.
Right. But that night, the fact that you were carrying your weapon helped to level the playing field between a strong, able-bodied, young, mad young man And you who had just come out of hip surgery.
Correct. I mean, normally I probably could have handled the situation a little different. But yes, and he probably knew that too, that I was at my weakest and I wasn't 100%. And, you know, those kind of people, that's when they choose to attack.
Right.
Is when they think things are in their best favor or interest or whatever.
Right.
So, actually, I was at home, and when he sent all these texts that you looked at and started threatening, she called me, and so you know, I came over to her house.
Okay.
Of course, like I always am, got my cell phone, got my protection.
Right. And she was scared because
Sure.
he had threatened her in these text
Sure.
messages. He wanted that computer, and he was
Exactly.
going to do whatever he had to get it.
Exactly.
And he tried to do that.
Exactly.
So what happened when you came into that room and saw him assaulting your daughter? What happened?
He had, you could say the door was here, and if you open the door, there's not much space between that and the washer. It's a small room. There's not much space between that and the washer and dryer. Well, he had her up against the washer and dryer, and it was dark, and it looked to me like he had her, you know, kind of by the throat, kind of this thing. That's how I described it to the police, but I could tell that what he was doing was not hugs and kisses. I'll put it that way. So I hollered at him, "Hey!" And that's another. It's funny the things that you can't quite remember. But I hollered at him. I don't know if it was "hey" or "stop" or what that I said. I hollered at him. Anyway, that you know, he turned and looked at me, and it startled him, and that gave my daughter a chance to get away. So she took off, and I stepped over. You know, as she went by, I stepped over to get between her and him. That's when he reached in his pocket, and he'd already made a threat that I took as, I'm coming with whatever it is I need to get what I want. So my feeling was that he had a weapon. So when he reached in his pocket, yeah, I jumped on him. And I held on to his arm, actually it was his hand, that was in his pocket, and he kept trying to pull where it was out. But you know, we were wrestling around, and gosh, I don't know how long that was. It seemed like forever, but I'm sure it wasn't very long.
And all the while, this is doing damage to you physically because you're recuperating from a surgery.
He was hurting me, yes. You know, I knew I didn't have long to go. I mean, my strength was sapped anyway, just from going through that. I was on blood thinners and all kinds of medicine from the hip surgery. So yes, I wasn't who I normally am. And I knew that I didn't have long to fight, because he was hurting me. So, and I knew that if he got past me, my granddaughter was back there in the bedroom too. I knew that if he got past me, that it would probably not be good for them. So I knew I had to do something. So I pushed him, trying to knock him off balance, and I moved back, trying to distance myself from him a little bit. And when he regained his balance and started toward me, that's when I shot him.